Like it brought out this inner confidence in me, and I don't think I would be sat here if it wasn't for CYPC, because
He doesn't want to take sides.
I was only able to go to Sprung as a result of a bursary, which came as a result of a very nice collection of people donating and funding.
Funding used to be a very scary thing, but now it's a nice little friend.
My favourite experiences as well. Like, that was, I think, the first time that I had experienced outdoor theatre.
Whether you know it or not, that funding has enabled you to follow your dreams. And
Where's the effing creativity? You got it right.
Thank you very much.
You're so clever.
I've been practicing.
Hello, both of you.
Hello.
We have the wonderful Kian and the wonderful Eve. Hello, welcome.
It's so nice to have you join us
Thank you.
on this very special
Where's
Where's the
the
effing creativity episode of the podcast.
We've got very good at that now.
Yeah, even though I've lost my voice.
Do you see how impressed they both are?
Yeah. It's
You sort of go,
standard.
oh yay, they got it.
We're very excited for you to join us, and weirdly excited for you to join us online as well, because this is where our journey together started, in the online space.
Yeah.
Yes,
What
way
year
back
was it?
when.
Where, what, when?
What year was it? I mean, I was in year 10. I was even smaller than I am now. It's
Is that
hard.
possible?
So what
Just
year
about.
would that have been?
2020.
2020 or 20?
Yeah, because it all went into Zoom days, didn't it? So
We
yeah.
were Zoom days.
I believe.
Brilliant.
So we met you in 2020 and we were doing a project with you. Do you want to tell us about what that project was and how you got introduced to Mark and Sarah and Highly Sprung as a whole?
Do you want to go first or?
You take it. Go for it.
Okay, so just chilling in my drama lessons really, and Mr. Newgold, oh, I love that guy. He pulls me aside with a bunch of my other classmates, and he goes, "We've got this cool opportunity for you. Do you want to do it? I'm not going to tell you what it is first, just go for it." So we're like, yeah, sure. And he introduces us to this idea of the Coventry Young Producers Collective in association with Highly Sprung Performance. Never heard of this company in my life, so I'm not going to lie, but I'll do it. And Coventry Young Producers Collective, we later found out, was a group of what, like 20 odd,
There was about
Yeah.
30 in your cohort.
Yeah.
like 20 young people coming together to be producers on the Physical Fellowship, an event which, you know, very popular at Sprung. But that festival is, you know, like a collaboration of how many schools? 18?
About 13 schools a year.
13 schools.
15 this year.
And our job was to kind of come up with the ideas, talk to professionals, and curate this event for ourselves, you know, the young people putting on the shows and those coming to watch it.
And you did a very good job. I think it was 2021, because in 2020 we didn't have physical fellowship. We did an online
Yeah.
physical fellowship. So you must have been 2021 when we went back into the theatre and we were all wearing masks.
Yes.
Yeah, so your journey started as young producers and you were introduced. Was it similar for you, Eve? Were you introduced through a teacher at school?
Yeah, but it was different for me because my teacher went, right, you're really quiet and you want to stay backstage, and I don't think you should be doing that. I think you should be using your voice and using your ideas because they're not too bad. So I think you should have some faith and do this thing. And she told me about it and I went, that sounds so cool. And I went, all right, then I'll do it. I'll give it a go. And the world opened up into the world of the Coventry Young Producers Collective and all the like-minded creatives that we met.
It was, I think, an excellent first year. And because of people like you, we've gone on to do that project this year. We'll be doing it for the 4th time. So we've got a whole new cohort. We're trying to make it an even bigger program this year and reach more young people in the world of producing and getting them involved in helping to shape what the Physical Fellowship is this year. So it was an exciting time, right? And you actually helped shape CastAway, our outdoor touring performance.
Yes.
Yes.
I forget that that was actually part of our experience as well. I think that was probably one of my favorite experiences as well. Like that was, I think, the first time that I had experienced outdoor theatre. Um,
Mm.
Ironically, indoors when we watched it. However, it genuinely like kind of reshaped my entire mentality on theatre. Before, I wasn't majorly into it, but my perception of it was very like traditional inside a theatre. People sit down, they shut up, you perform, they clap, they leave, you go home, you do it
It's
again
just
the next
down
day.
and shut up.
But that like that as a part of it, I think the whole experience, because it was about producing, not performing, like the two of those combined really like they kind of reshaped what I thought of theatre, which has obviously led me down the path that I'm on now, and I'm studying to do the same sorts of things that you guys do day to day.
I remember a moment, and I think it was you, Kian, and you said, what's that stuff there with the plastic bag? I don't get it." And we tried to explain it, and then you were like, "No, it doesn't make any sense. You need to redo it." And that was the first time that we'd had young people in the rehearsal room with us, and the first time that sort of the intended audience were there in the space with us, telling us real time what works and what doesn't work and
Mhm.
what translates and doesn't translate. And it was lovely, and it was an experience that the artists themselves absolutely loved as well. And
Yeah.
when they went out with the work, they felt so much more confident with it because they were able to say, well, actually, we know it works because these young producers have told us it works. And so they performed with so much more
Mm.
confidence as well. It was great.
I think I remember having a conversation with you, Eve, because you were particularly interested in the costume. Do you remember? And the costume for Castaway is multi-layered, and I think you were really excited by that.
Yeah, it was like it was a style of theatre I'd never seen. It was sort of a message that I hadn't really explored, and it was costumes like I'd never seen before. Because I was like, she's going up so high, and all the costumes are following, and then it tears away, and it's this grand reveal. Except it's not so grand because it's a very important and poignant moment. And it was that sort of like duality of like, but it looks so cool, but it's telling the audience something really quite severe and really quite hard hitting. And it was like, how can you balance that sort of like grotesque nature of what you're trying to encapsulate in such splendid and grand costumes? It was absolutely fascinating.
And you both went on to become members of Sprung Advanced Plus. So you were there for 4 years?
Three?
Just the three.
Hey,
Yeah, I
It,
know.
it felt
Yeah.
like
I
four.
said 5.
Yeah,
We
it
were
felt
robbed.
longer.
We were robbed of you.
But if that's your kind of starting place almost, that yes, you did drama at school, but that idea of that first encounter with Sprung, first encounter of alternative theatre, how does creativity feel and feature in your life right now? So what do you tell us what you're doing now?
Should we start with Eve?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, at the minute, so we're currently doing 12th night at drama school.
You're at
And
drama school?
oh yeah, I'm doing the drama school thing. Yeah, I'm down in London doing the
But
drama school thing.
you
It's
were the
so
quiet
fun.
girl who didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, I know. And now I'm doing it in the place to be. How tables turn. But it was like I'd never seen this world of physical theatre before. Um, and now it's become such a fundamental part of who I am because I've went into rehearsals today and we're setting it in a festival. Woo woo. So there's these really intense like movement scenes with like dances, and we've got the clown singing a song. We're all like dancing around, and it's quite a lot of movement and it's quite a lot of physical theatre. And our director goes, right, we need someone in the room to create this dance, to create this pattern of movement. And everyone's heads just went towards me. And because they went, Eve's a mover, Eve moves, she likes movement, that's what she does. And I went, yeah, that's me, that's who I am. And it wouldn't have been such a fundamental part of me had I not wandered into the CYPC and got to see the likes of Winter Rights and all the school's performances. So yeah, it definitely changed how I approach theatre. So now I'm always like, how can we get a bit of movement in there? How can we tell this through our bodies?
I love that. One of the first questions we were ever asked at university was to think about um, I can't remember the actual question. It was like,
It wasn't even a question.
does all acting start with the body? I think that was the
Yeah.
question. And at the time we were like, yes. And now we're like, yes.
Of course it does.
So it's really interesting that you've been able to kind of bring that with you into drama school. How
Mhm.
about you, Kian? What are you doing at the moment? How does creativity feature in your life?
So
Oh,
I'm
I hate
say again.
I thought you like, wouldn't it be awful if you said not at all? I hate it.
No, I love it. I'm currently studying applied theatre at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. I say
Oh,
that
look
that
at
Dropped
that.
Eve. You kept your drama school secret.
It's because he's
that
got royal in there.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
I don't
posh,
have the royal.
it's actually the posh way of saying BCU. However, um, yeah, I'm studying applied theatre there, and it's sort of similar to Eve. I find that no matter what it is I'm doing, because I do too many things. Like at the minute, we're doing drama for learning, and we're touring a piece of TIE around schools, coming to the end of that now. But at the same time, we're doing a devising project that is supposed to be going to the old joint stock in January. So, like, I think the thing that I took away from sort of the CYPC experience is this kind of metaphorical wearing of all the hats. Being the producer, learned from Mark, being the writer, being the person that, leads, but also knows how to follow. And I think that when I think of creativity, it's not just the product, it's how you get there. And I feel like that is something that was taught to me, and I was led down that path through these experiences, and it's something that I have to use day to day, whether that's working with my co-creators or facilitating a bunch of 11-year-olds who just want to see a baby thrown off a cliff. Like it's a lot.
Is that part of the play? Please tell me that's
That
part of
is a part of the play,
Not just
yes.
a
Okay.
group of 11-year-olds who have like some kind of horrible obsession.
No, it is a part of the play, yes.
Thank goodness we're in Birmingham where there are no cliffs.
I am really, really excited to hear though that kind of your creativity has led you down to a path where you are also interacting with young people and maybe being that life role model that I hope you experienced when you came to Sprung. So that's a really nice full circle moment. This is a where's the creativity? Where's the effing? I messed it up now.
Yeah, normally it's me who messes up. Sarah got it wrong.
Where's the effing creativity special? And we are focusing on a very significant F at the moment, which is funding. Funding. And the different relationships that we all have with funding. Now, you are both experiencing being students and the kind of the funding situation that you are in as both students, but also I'm just really interested to hear your thoughts on funding in the arts and what experience you have kind of had in, have you encountered any people talking about it, or have you thought about how it's going to affect your life once you leave education? What are your thoughts on the big F of funding?
Well, I think that it seems quite a lot of the time funding seems to be this big sort of roadblock that it's very scary and you have to put in applications for, and it has the potential to change the outweigh of the way your show goes. And it can be scary and it can be, nerve-wracking and whatnot. And we've had to have these talks in drama school of what happens when funding doesn't necessarily come through or when funding doesn't necessarily happen. And it's made up to be this big scary thing. But on the flip of it, I've had quite a lot of fun in the last sort of year or so working on, funnily enough, this physical piece that me and a couple of my mates are making, to tell this story that we think is really important. And we've gone, right, let's think of funding as something that can help us, something that can make this better, and something that can help us explore more avenues and view it as sort of a loving companion that comes along with you for the ride, rather than this thing that stops you from doing something. And so funding used to be a very scary thing, but now it's a nice little friend that can sometimes hop on the train and join you for the journey and then leave halfway through the ride, or sometimes they stay for the whole ride and help you out, and you get to the beach together and have a fun time. Like, yeah.
I really hope my funding friend stays with me to the beach.
Yeah. And back again. That would be
That'd be
really
really
nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Kian? Does that feel familiar, or is it a bit different for you?
I fully agree that like it is a scary thing, and I think, as much as like obviously my journey started at CYPC, joined Sprung, and then as I was getting towards the end of my time at Sprung, I joined the Youth Advisory Board. So I've kind of like, funding is something we talk about, but my understanding of it professionally is not, I don't know, like my understanding is not complete on it, and I don't think anybody's understanding can be complete on it. But like it's sort of like tax, you know, you don't really get taught how to do it when you're in school, and I feel like it is something that should be, if you're signing up to do an A level in drama, that's pretty much the point where you're like, yeah, I'm going with this. It should be taught because it's an important thing, and I don't have any idea how you're supposed to start and maintain a career if you don't get taught these things. Like, it's an essential skill in the life of a creator, right? You need to know how to do it. And I think that too often you find that people don't learn it until they're stuck and they need to do it right then. But I think that, like I say, my experiences with Yab have been kind of those starting steps to be like, okay, now the conversation started. It's not as scary, but it's still very scary and it still looms in the distance. I'm like, I really don't want to be a student anymore, but I don't want to be an adult because that's what I have to face when I become a professional.
I hope I haven't made it sound too scary in our youth advisory board meetings when I talk.
No, no.
I try and keep it positive.
Yeah, it's casual, it's just there.
Are either of you aware of what funding has allowed you to do within sort of what you're doing within the arts or anything like that in your journey? That's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I, I feel like, I mean, it's not, government or arts council funding, but I suppose funding in terms of a person giving money for something. I was only able to go to Sprung as a result of a bursary, which came as a result of a very nice collection of people donating and funding the charity. And I feel like, when it boils down to it, when it boils down to funding, it's just people giving money for something. It's not so scary because it's actually probably one of the best things that has happened to me in my life. Went on a massive journey in the very short time that I was at Sprung, and that sort of just came down to people's generosity and giving nature for a certain thing. So I suppose that is what I would have experienced from a form of funding.
Absolutely. And CYPC would not have run if it wasn't for the fact that we got funding to run that program. So
And CastAway
would
would
not
not
have
have been
happened.
made had it not have been for funding. And it's really exciting to see you guys on your own journey and
Mhm.
really sort of excelling in your lives and going off to university, conservatoires or drama schools, whatever you're doing, even if they're royal. But and then realizing that actually, whether you know it or not, that funding from Arts Council, from different arts
From
organizations, trust
people.
foundations, people's generosity, that's enabled you to follow your dreams and
Mm.
and to achieve what you believe that you can achieve. And that's really exciting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Eve?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, off the back of CYPC being something that was made available to us through funding and being able to see CastAway through funding, it's like seeing both your process throughout Sprung and what you managed to do with funding and the way that that enabled you guys, again, made it less of a scary thing because I went, well, everyone at Highly Sprung has managed to do this and use that to their ability and the best of their ability, and they've applied for it, and they live to tell the tale. So it's seeing what it can do for us and seeing what it can do for a performance and a show, and also seeing what can happen when it doesn't necessarily work out. And you can still carry on with or without it. So yeah, it's just a bit of a less daunting thing because I've watched you guys do that yourself.
If we didn't have funding, then we wouldn't be able to offer those projects like CYPC. And how would that maybe, we're in a position right now, we're running this special because we want to try and ask donors to donate so we can run projects like CYP in the future. And it'd be really useful to kind of hear from you, Eve, what the impact of that funding kind of has done for you.
Well, I will forever quote one of the last things that Mark ever said when I became an ex-sprung and not a sprung anymore. Once a sprung, always a sprung. And it was, you were very shy, and it was always, is this okay, Mark and Sarah? Can I do this, Mark and Sarah? And it was through something like the CYPC that has allowed me to sit here now doing what I'm doing at the minute, because it took me from someone who was quite tentative to speak up and tentative to share her ideas through that process, and through being able to do that process and going, no, I think this should be said, or I think this should be done, or maybe the logo should look like this, or we could put that on the social media and that will get people to come and see the show, or to come and engage in the festival. Like it brought out this inner confidence in me, and I don't think I would be sat here doing what I'm doing now, going to drama school, performing, excelling in the creativity that I have, if it wasn't for CYPC, because I still would be in that sort of shell of, I'm not too sure. I'm just going to stay where's comfortable. But the CYPC encouraged me to go, well, what happens if I don't?
Yeah. It's been amazing to be part of that journey, and we certainly saw that in you both, where the kind of investment that was given to us that we were able to pass on to people like you. We've seen your lives transform, and that has been such a privilege. So thank you for being part of our journey as much as we've been part of yours. We're going to finish now, Mark, with the best question of all. Are you ready?
I am ready, Sarah.
Where's your effing creativity? So we would like to know what your effing creativity is today. Should we start with you, Eve?
Yes, today I would say it's flying, because yes, I am happiest when I'm in the air and off the ground, but also when I'm being creative and when I'm in that sort of creative flow, whether that be on my own or with others, it does feel like I'm flying. That idea of like being on cloud nine, nothing could knock me off because I'll just fly somewhere else. So flying is my F.
Positive. I love this. I'm going to take that kind of message from you about funding as well. It's a journey with a friend, and sometimes we have lots of them and sometimes we don't, but that we still carry on, and that's been beautiful. But I too agree. Flying is such an important part of this.
Yeah, it's important to have that. And I have to say that flying is my F as well.
It was.
But
Wow, look at that.
She's such a fan of the product.
I just love it so much, Mark.
Today, I was so inspired by Mark.
Yes, just add that at the beginning.
Kian, what's your effing creativity?
My effing creativity is flourish. I feel like it's very fitting that we've been talking and kind of tracking our journeys, because I feel like that creative space, the creative industry, the things that you guys have been able to pass on to us have helped us too, but equally so, lots of other people flourish within themselves. But even in like the second sense of the word, like I find that everything that I do now, every time I move, not just in theatre but in the streets, there's got to be a bit of flourish to it, like you got to have a little turn as you walk, a little like be nimble on the feet, like everything just has a bit of a flourish to it when you're in the creative world. And I think that flourish is someone that everybody should try and bring to their lives, because it makes it so much easier to deal with those daunting things like funding and being a student in a new city and those sorts of things.
Shall we finish with a sprung explosion? Because that's a flourish, right?
That is such a flourish.
Be the first ever online sprung explosion.
I have
need to add some audio.
I have actually done a sprung explosion in the past week. I did 2 in Singapore.
In Singapore.
I try not to tell everyone I was there teaching, but they did a really good sprung explosion. I'm going to say two very good sprungplosion. So
Are you saying sprungplosion or
sprung
sprung-splosion?
sprungplosion.
What is it? I say sprung-splosion.
Well, we've always said I'm the Sarah person. I also say sprung explosion.
Ian?
Just
He doesn't
call
want to take sides
it. I don't want to take sides.
because you know
I would call it a sprung explosion.
you just
I'll be different.
Right. Anyway, you ready? Let's do it. Should we do the woo sound?
If you want.
Okay, ready?
Ooh. I went too early.
That on something. We're good.
Play with the edit.
You guys, it's so lovely to see you. You know, we will always hold a place for you in our hearts and in our sprung journey with many, many more young people just like yourselves. And let's hope, Eve, that we get lots and lots of more funding friends who are going to help enable people's journeys just like yours.
Full train, no seats. Full
Full train. We want the full train. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts and your journeys with us. And let's make sure that we, you know, get that full train on this campaign. Thank you so much. You've been awesome and we love you.
Thanks, Dee.
Where's the F in creativity?